Hello, everybody. Very happy to welcome you here on the Audi stand. And I'm glad also to welcome Xavier Chardon. Xavier Chardon is the president of the Volkswagen Group France. And together we would like to give you a few messages on what the group is currently doing with this target to have a zero emission company within the next 15 years. And this is a huge target, and it's not just a target, it's also changing completely our corporate culture. So Xavier will start now with a few examples and also nice illustration of what the group is doing. And then, of course, I will talk about Audi and what are the early initiatives to reach this target. So Xavier, stage is yours.
Thanks a lot for inviting me here in this wonderful Audi booth and with this nice audience. And I'm very happy to be here. Why? Because everybody is talking about automotive business that is not so interesting and boring and what is our future. But quite frankly, if you look at automotive today, and especially in the group Volkswagen, we'll have in the next 5 years something that is more exciting than what we did in the last 50. Why? Because we invest in the future, we invest in a brilliant future, in a future with zero carbon emissions, and the group is investing heavily. In the next 4 years, it's close to 190 billions we will invest to prepare our future. What do we do with this money? Of course, we will do great cars, great Audi, and Mark will tell a bit more about this. So in the next years, you will have 50 new electric models within the group: Audi, Volkswagen, Skoda, Porsche, Lamborghini, and so on. Everybody is going electric. 50 new cars. This is our ambition. But cars are not enough. That's why we will develop softwares. Softwares are very important, and also we need to shift completely our footprint. That's why in Europe we are completely transforming our industry. Today we have factories producing, producing cars. Tomorrow we'll get factories that will produce electrical cars with carbon neutral situation, green energy, very important. And the factories that are today producing engines, tomorrow they will become gigafactories. We are transforming our main factory in Salzgitter. Today they produce engines. In 25 they will produce every second batteries to move ahead with us. So it's a huge transformation for all of us. This has started and this is also accelerating. What is important, in Spain in 2025 we'll completely shift our factories into electrification, and this will allow us to have new cars at a price below 25,000 euros. This is not for Audi. Audi will remain premium, but Volkswagen, Skoda and other brands will democratize electrification. This is absolutely important. So this is what the group is doing worldwide. This is impacting France, but also in France we are doing other things. We have a strong responsibility for decarbonization. That's why in our historical headquarters in Villers, 80 kilometers from Paris, we have covered all our yard with photovoltaic electricity. This is the 5th biggest private photovoltaic park in France. This is about to generate electricity for a city close to 10,000 inhabitants. This is already up and running. This is a great investment, and we are continuing. Mark will give more details about what is happening also in our retailers. So this is important, but this is not the only thing we are doing. Putting electric cars on the road, it's important, but you need to load them, you need to recharge them. That's why we are investing in Electrify France. I see my colleague Luc, who is supporting this topic. Electrify France is very important, and our network will be one of the most consistent one. At the end of this year, we'll have close to 400 superchargers with more than 150 kilowatt per hour. So basically, you can charge electric cars from 20 to 80%. You will get 400 kilometers in less than 30 minutes. This is happening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is a huge investment, and this will cover all France. And when you have electrical cars, of course, you need to repair them, you need to fix them. Our cars are very reliable, but sometimes you can have accidents. That's why we're investing in battery repair centers. We already have more than 30. We aim at more than 100, and this is also a strong commitment for the group because you need lasting elements. So you see the group is investing worldwide. The group is investing also in France, but the group without Audi is nothing. So Mark, I'm very happy to hear what you have to, what are your strong commitments for the future now. Up to you.
Okay. Yeah, so a few words about Audi. So first of all, Audi has a leading role in the group for this change for electrification and of course decarbonization. Why that? Because as you know, innovations comes generally from, let's say, the brands with the strongest value. This is the first reason. But also the second reason is that luxury itself is changing. Our customers are changing. Luxury in the past was standing for performance, having the fastest car, for material, leather, luxury inside, and so on. But customers expect something different from luxury today. They expect that luxury is leading the way and has a real meaning. That means if I want to buy a luxury brand, this brand needs to stand for values that I share. And our customers, they want to have a brand that is exemplary in terms of sustainability, in terms of recycling economy, use of the best material, reducing footprint in terms of CO2, and also for manufacturing. So for that reason, Audi has the strongest targets for decarbonization. You can see a few dates here, very important dates. We will talk about product, but also about the entire life cycle of the vehicles. Product-wise, 2026, you need to keep that in mind. This is the year where we'll only put on the market electrified cars. That means 100% electric, but also hybrid with a very long hybrid range, the perfect combination for people driving a lot and long distance. Then, talking about product, 2023 will have only electric vehicles on the road. So this is really the year where all the cars will launch will be 100% electric, 100% BEV. I'm talking about Europe now. 2030 is the Vorsprung 2030 target. This is more a corporate target where the entire company would be carbon neutral, including for manufacturing and production. Very important date, and I will talk about that later because, as you know, the most important when you talk about reducing CO2 footprint is not only the car, but the entire life cycle of the vehicle, from designing, engineering, up to recycling. This is really important. And 2035, we have the commitment, Audi has the commitment of the Paris Agreement. We signed the commitment in 2021. The target is that we reach this very important target, being totally CO2 net neutral before 2050. 2050 is the Paris Agreement. We want to achieve that long before, as soon as 2035. So this is to give you a glimpse a little bit of why Audi is moving so fast in this direction. Okay, so as I said, when you look at an electric car today, you would say it's zero emission because it's what we call zero emission at the tailpipe. The car itself doesn't emit CO2. But there are lots of sources of CO2 when you build a car. When you design a car, when an engineer, for example, travels to another country to see a supplier, when you design the entire car, when you manufacture the car with new material, you have the extraction, the steel, the aluminum, and so on. So really the best way to reduce the total CO2 footprint is to reduce the need of new material. That means to recycle, to reuse, and to reduce consumption. So Audi is really working hard on that. We took a lot of initiatives. I will give you a few examples. First one, reduce. I will take the example of water. Water is something that we use a lot in the industry. And Audi is the first manufacturer that signed an agreement with the water stewardship, the Alliance for Water Stewardship. And so we are monitored in our efforts to reduce the consumption of water. For example, in Brussels, we signed with the local water supply management to reduce our water usage by 50%. We did exactly the same in Mexico, where we built a Q5, reduced the water consumption by 70%. Same in Germany, in Neckarsulm, we signed with a local water supplier to reduce and recycle water from the factory. Again, 50% water usage reduction. Just an example of the reuse. Then, of the reduce. The reuse, I have a very good example for you. You know that that electric cars have batteries, and these batteries have a certain life cycle. And after this life cycle, the good news is that you can either recycle the battery. 95% of the battery can be recycled. As nobody knows that. Everybody thinks battery is a big problem. It's not the case. 95% can be reused because you have material like rare earths and aluminium, etc. So you can really recycle. But the battery, even if the battery is not suitable for a car, it's still suitable for energy storage management. And we have the first station in Germany where the charging station, where to store energy, we use batteries that were in production cars, in pre-production cars, in prototypes, for example. The batteries cannot be used for normal cars. They are used to store energy in a charging station. And this is really a source of energy that will be used more and more in the future, because even if a car battery has only 70 or 80% of its initial power, can be used to store energy, for example, at your house, or in a charging station, or in an industrial usage. So, very important example. And then we have recycle. So recycle, or before coming back to that, I will say a few words of recycle. We have started a project called Material Loop with 15 partners. And this project aims to really understand how we can better recycle materials from the vehicles. Just a few examples there. We have 7 fields of action. One is about steel, one is about aluminum, one is about plastic, used parts, water, batteries. So we work with suppliers, we work with research institutes to really understand how we can recycle and reuse material directly from cars that are recycled to new cars. Just a few examples of what we can do, and this is real life. You will see that also on the booth here. For example, we built the Q4 windscreen with all windscreen for previous cars that were in use a couple of years ago and that has been dismantled. Just one example. Another example, we use more than 100 bottles recycled to create the interior of the Audi A3. So every Audi A3 is using the recycling of more than 100 plastic bottles. Just an example. Another example, Audi A4, we will build 15 door panels out of steel recycled from cars that have been dismantled. So all of that to tell you that we can do a lot. It's just at the moment it's a pilot. We started with 100 cars that we analyzed completely to recycle and to learn and to create guidebooks for our suppliers, also for the production, in order to really now. And as I told you, recycling is one of the most efficient sources to reduce CO2 emissions. And tomorrow, the CO2 measurement will not be only at the tailpipe, it will be also from the engineer traveling by plane to see a supplier. We need to reduce that for sure, to the recycling of the car. So it's very, very important. This recycling phase will be one of the top winners in terms of CO2 emission. But that's not the end. Just a few words about France. We started a couple of months ago a new French initiative, a strategy for the French market called Pole 26. And one of the pillars of this Pole 26 is really decarbonization at every level of the activity, not only building a car, but selling a car, for example, with our dealers. So we have many initiatives of solar panels, for example. We have more than 50 dealers that are really right now investigating the possibility to be carbon neutral and energy neutral with solar panels. We have dealers also investing in water recycling, for example, in Haute-Savoie with our partner Jeanlin. We have carports, we have dealers investing in charging infrastructures, and we have lots of projects also to reduce the energy consumption of our building. For example, we have what we call the hangar, and we are now asking our dealers to rebuild completely with the best energy-saving management systems to reduce the footprint at our level, at the Audi France level. So, yeah, in a nutshell, that was it. Thank you very much. Just to give you a glimpse of all the actions we are doing, and we are happy to answer questions, if any. Thank you.
Thank you.